9 hours of me missing the Lord. What did I hear the other day? Yet another remake. Yeah, you heard it right. This gem of a movie is going to be scrutinized by a whole new generation of fans based on the success or lack thereof. However, there is a silver line to this remake, but first, let's take a look at the original. American WereWolf in London. I shouldn't have to yell spoiler alert on this, but I guess since there's a remake on the way, it could be a reimagining or it could be a direct tribute, I'm not sure, so fair enough, spoiler alert. It's the same old story. You head out with your buddy to backpack around London, and something supernatural happens and fuddles up your whole plan. Happens all the time. Anyways, we got a simple story here, and we're all very familiar with it. We have David. David's bitten. His buddy Jack, stuck in werewolf limbo, I guess. Something of the sort, I suppose. And then we proceed into the movie. I love it. Straight to the point. Now, before I attempt this broad analysis, which is always boring by me, I have a bone to pick with the townspeople. For instance, this dude, he takes darts far too seriously, and also apparently the menu really sucks at this place. I was watching this with Bones the other night, and she said, oh, they fed them to the wolves, which is kind of an interesting way of putting it, but I guess they did. And it got me thinking, why did they give them advice on how to avoid trouble, but then kick them out of the bar at the same time? I guess out of fear. But then they show up and shoot the other werewolf. You know, the other guy? Well, after that whole ordeal, David wakes up in a hospital. I think it's a hospital. Yeah, it's a hospital, but they have some seriously sexually dysfunctional people on staff. I mean, the extras on loan from Coronation Street there, they're checking David's, manhood, you know what I'm talking about, under the sheets, and then he ends up, with a hot nympho nurse, so, it's not really all that bad of a thing. So the vacation is aces so far. Talk about getting a wet dog into a bathtub. Not sure if that joke made sense or works, but I like it, so what the hell. So, what's the most important thing? Characters, of course. Let's start with Alex. She's cute, but consider her decisions. I mean, she brings home a student from a foreign country that's claiming to be a werewolf. I forget if that was right away, but she's enthusiastic about the whole thing. You and your werewolf talk, oh, it's so cheery and cute. Let's go for a roll in the hay and forget about all this nonsense. Actually, her line on how many people she slept with is really awkward. David plays an amazing werewolf, even though you don't see him as a werewolf for most of the movie. His acceptance of it is hilarious. It's just like, really, I'm a werewolf. Well, how do I get out of this conundrum? What should I do? He seeks advice. Granted, he's a little stressed at times. Anyways, his relationship with Jack and the back and forth between them, it's oddly not disruptive. It flows and it's comedic gold. But that's only if you dig the dry stuff. That's the kind of humor in this movie. The silly aspect is really reflective of the social stereotypes of the people of London. But it's not in a condescending way, it's more poking fun at their calm, reserved demeanor. And it's really funny. I dropped dead laughing when David is fessing up to murder and going insane, and the cop at the end, or nearing the end, he could have at least arrested him or something. He's fessing up to murder in the whole shebang. Then there are the two detectives, whom I think are so underrated, because I don't really hear them come up that often when I'm discussing the film, but they can't make any connection. You might want to talk to the crowd that you just confessed to. Might help your case. Not only that, was David not the only survivor? And this is Horror Movie Review Guy, and you know my affinity for the 80s, so special effects are going to come up next as a topic. Undoubtedly, the transformation scene is the highlight. Same peeps that did The Howling. I love them both, the transformations I mean. But personally, I give the nod to Eddie Quist's change over David's. It's a slim margin, and it definitely is up for debate. But let's have a quick look at Eddie's. Now let's have a quick look at David. And if you feel like it, leave a comment below which one you think is better, or hit up the Facebook page and vote on it. To cap off the ending, they gotta break our hearts, don't they? I suppose they soften it up with a rather interesting discussion about suicide, the most interesting discussion about suicide I've ever heard in a theater. I don't often hear suicide discussions in theaters, but when I do, they're often not funny. Regardless, David changes and does what werewolves do best and murders a shit ton of people. Actually, I think it's just one guy in the subway. I wonder if he paid his toll though. Maybe he had it coming. Finally, at the end of the movie, do the cops decide to show up, and what do? Fuck it, let the nurse take care of the frightening situation. Anyway, David does get blown away, and Bones was upset. And so am I every time I watch it, to be honest. That's the last shot, and then it's just the credits. Everyone you love in the movie just gets burnt. That's bollocks. It's been a long time since I've been on the HMRG channel, as you know, if you watch often especially. But I'm back, and there's going to be more versus vids, and let's get serious about this. Well, not that serious. Okay, hurry up and cry and shit like that. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Dave's dead. Ah! Gee whiz, didn't I get caught up in a thing that had nothing to do with me?